Hello there, thank you for tuning into this video. Today we're going to be talking about how we can submit video assessments, specifically from the student perspective. We are logged in as CJ Briggs, and we're going to go ahead and submit an assessment that I'm actually going to record a video for and then submit. Then we're actually going to jump into the course gradebook, which will be more from the faculty perspective, and we'll finish off with some course level analytics. So, as you can see, I'm currently logged in as CJ Briggs. I'm going to go ahead and navigate to the course. As CJ, I know that I have a few things I need to submit for my English course here. As you can see from the student perspective, it is very easy for me to tell exactly where I am or where I need to go. Now that I'm at the course level, I have a nice homepage I can get in here with. I've got some announcements and even some updates that I could actually get into and start finishing some of my tasks. But for this specific demonstration, we're going to navigate to our course modules area, where right off the bat, I am brought to my course schedule. Right on the left hand side, where I have my nice table of contents like elements, I do have some number indicators letting me know how many items I have yet to kind of look at within that specific module. The course schedule that we're looking at right now allows me to actually see what's overdue, if there's anything upcoming, or that full schedule for my semester, which again is really going to help me keep on top of everything I need to do as a learner. So I'm going to go ahead and look for one of my overdue assignments. Unfortunately, yesterday at 11:59, but I've reached out to my instructor and they've let me kind of submit it again. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate to this specific link for this assessment, at which point I see all of my instructions where I have to perhaps write 500 pages or maybe record a video instead. I can see if I've had actually submitted anything here yet, and if I haven't, I can actually drag and drop some assessments below, or I can take advantage of some of the functionality that's available here for me. I can upload, I can record, or I can even choose existing files that live in the Brightspace platform that may have uploaded or maybe working at with others as well. But what we're going to do right now is hit our record button when we can actually see our video and audio options. So I'm going to go ahead and click on record video, and all I have to do from the student perspective is I don't actually have to download anything. I could even pull this up on my phone or my tablet if I wanted to, because we don't require an app. You can actually, again, access this from a tablet or an iPhone or even from your computer, and you're going to have the exact same experience. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on allow, so my computer has access to, hello everyone, my feed and my camera feed. So I'm going to go ahead and start a recording here and just let my instructor know, exactly what they asked for. I'm going to maybe deliver some of my content, via video rather than audio. I'm going to go ahead and and as soon as I'm done, I can watch it. I can maybe go in and add a few things, and just make sure that everything is looking good. I'm going to go ahead and add this to my submission, which again is just a very easy process where I can even record a title for this. So we'll do submission. I can provide a description, but I can also specify what language I want to use to automatically generate captions from the video or audio. So again, a wonderful tool, especially if we do have some specific, requirements, or maybe we want to provide, learners with the opportunity to have those closed captions. It's all done automatically. So now that I've had this file uploaded here, I can provide some comments, of course, on top of everything else that I want to. It is easy for me to expand that window and just make it a little bit longer. And all I have to do is hit submit, which I will now get a confirmation email and a little receipt that lets me know when it was submitted and what the submissions are. Or I can even upload multiple submissions here if my instructor had allowed that. So that was a very nice and simple, easy process for me actually submitting to an assessment. So when instructors create these assessments, they will live right within those modules, or again, that course schedule area. Perhaps that test assignment was in my week 1 module, right? So I can actually even go straight towards my week module and find my assessment there, rather than maybe having to go through the assignments or discussions or quizzes page and maybe finding it there instead. So we do allow for that linear learning path by allowing instructors to drop in their assessments right within those modules that they've created. Again, just making a really nice, well-rounded experience for the students. So I'm actually going to stop impersonating CJ Briggs now, and I'm going to switch to more of an instructor view within the platform. So the next part of our presentation is really going to focus on the grades area and the grade book. So I'm going to go ahead and again work within that same course that CJ was in, and there's a few things that might look a little bit different from the course and the course modules area for instructors. Of course, we have all of our upload and create and drag and drop functionality that actually allows us to again create those assignments or checklists or quizzes that our learners can again either access from the module or have a nice breakdown of the tool and within the tool itself. So as you can see, I can see all of the different assessments for the specific course, and I'd be very easily able to jump in and either change that or from the student perspective submit it from the same place. But now that we've got a submission from one of our learners, I'm going to go ahead and navigate to my grades area. We're actually going to start on the setup wizard part of the page because this tool is immensely helpful, especially for faculty members who may want a little bit more than just a generic grade book. Maybe they want to specify what type of grading system it is, whether it's weighted or points based. Really, what the setup wizard allows us to do as instructors is to take pretty much a little quiz, a total of 7 questions, that's going to reflect and actually build out a grade book based on that feedback. So again, I'd be able to specify what kind of a grading system I want, how I want my final grades to be released, and the grade calculations and the grading schemes. I am able to start this experience and again go through these 7 steps of choosing exactly what I want my grade book to be like. Okay. So because I've already done that, I was actually able to create that gradebook from that process. But if we kind of work our way back through these links, we are able to again dive in a little bit further. Maybe I want to create my own grading scheme. Maybe I want something a little bit more based on attendance, right? So maybe rather than letter grades or mastery based competency schemes or even pass and fail, maybe I want to create a scheme that's more of a present or absent or late. I'm able to create new grading schemes that I can use within my gradebook whenever I like. This also brings us to the manage grades area. So again, a wonderful layout for the specific grade book because we can actually see from a table perspective of how our grades are calculated. So because my grade book is weighted, I am able to see all of my different categories like my quizzes and my discussions and assignments, and I'm also able to see those individual assessments within each category, which makes it extremely easy for me then to be able to imagine or create my gradebook in a weighted scheme where I can actually see the category and how much of the weight it is, and then the individual items within that and what the weight is respectively there as well. So at any point I can jump in here and edit the grade, change the weight, and make sure things are maybe a little bit more evenly balanced so my final calculated grade can add up to 100%. Which brings us to, of course, the standard grades interface. What you're going to notice here is that we always give you notes. There's always going to be a note section here that allows you to, see what's going on with your gradebook. It's even going to let you know if your grades or if your gradebook itself isn't weighted properly, if things aren't making sense or some grades are not displayed. You can actually show columns, dive in a little bit further to get this wonderful view of your gradebook where you have all of your students, those specific categories that we just kind of managed and made sure were weighted properly, and we can kind of have again this beautiful glimpse that could also be color coordinated within our gradebook. Some other really interesting features here are we are able to switch to a spreadsheet view. So for some of you who want to be able to just jump in and enter, some grades in bulk and be able to maybe change some of these and not have to go to them individually, you are able to just see everything at a glance and you are able to dictate how many you want to see per page, right? So we really want to avoid that what we call the scroll where you have to keep scrolling and numbers kind of start blending into each other. But you'll notice that even when we're kind of going through the grade book, I can always see the learners' names and the sections or categories that would amount to that final grade area. Okay. Wonderful. So there's a lot of great options for us as instructors, lots of functionality in ways that is, unique to us. Some of us may have specific requirements for our gradebook where others might want a little bit more of a template-based gradebook where they, kind of log in and everything's done for them. Because we support that master course template model, you can have both options. Again, Brightspace doesn't have really a limit or a ceiling, and we don't tend to silo a lot of faculty or users together because we understand that some folks might, want to go in and do a few simple things, but others may want to touch competencies or dive into the grades book or even get feedback on some of the learners. The class progress area is really going to be extremely useful for our faculty friends. Now that I've done some assessments, I checked out my gradebook, maybe I'm curious as to what's happening within my course. These metrics are absolutely key. In fact, we call them our key performance indicators, where we can talk about content completed, maybe some objectives or competencies that are associated within our course, or maybe quizzing and grades. But at any point, I can jump into my settings and again replace these. Maybe my course isn't set up to have objectives or competencies. I don't want to see that. I can hit replace and actually, maybe focus on surveys or system access, right? Maybe I'm curious to see if my students are logging in, or maybe discussion or checklist or assignment performance. There's a lot of great options for you that you can swap out just in case some of those other key performance indicators just may not be relevant. From here, we can also hover our cursor over the learner's image and send them an email or an instant message. For example, Michael is not unfortunately doing too well with his grades and his quizzing. He's doing some good with, discussion threads, but maybe I want to actually see what Michael is up to. If I click on his name, I get brought to more of an individual progress summary area where I can actually dive into every tool that Michael is using. As you can see on the left-hand side, there's the summary page. We've got grades and objectives or content. Those content modules that we spent some time building out, I can actually see if Michael is participating. He's been in my course for a few months now, and if he's only spent about 37 minutes total, we might have some issues with grades, as is pretty evident within his sample course here. I can even drop down further into these modules. So that Unit 1 Poetry module, I can open this up and actually see per individual item if he's even accessed it or how long he's spent there, if he's kind of just skimming over things. So again, I am able to really get a wonderful understanding of my learner. I'm able to email him or send him that instant message. Again, saving me time. Within Brightspace, we're really not here to give you more tasks. We are able to automate a lot of these processes down to even engaging with our learners based on maybe some of these, performance indicators that aren't doing well. Maybe I want to do this for every single student that doesn't get more than 65. I wouldn't have to necessarily click on every learner individually and send them, an email, maybe saying, hey, you didn't do too well. I am able to click this link here that says use agents to automate feedback, and I already have some of these automated messages that are going to be sent out to students based on some thresholds. Maybe I want an advisor to be aware of academic risk for learners. We can actually copy or blind copy in these advisors within these messages so they are aware of what's happening alongside the learner. Maybe I want to have a grade alert for anyone that's below 80% and I want this to be notified. Or maybe I want to focus a little bit more on students who may be doing really well within the course. Maybe I want to, send a little congratulations to anyone who's over 85% on their quiz, right? So there's a lot of great options for us where we set these things up once and we can keep using them semester to semester. And finally, this brings us to our quick eval tool. As a faculty member, the quick eval tool is really a time saver. What we've done is we've allowed you to have all of your submissions from every single course in one area. You will no longer have to jump into a specific course, then find your assessment area and start marking your students. You're able to, within a simple click, access all of your submissions. As faculty members, sometimes we have a lot of different courses that we are, a part of. It might be a little bit more taxing to have to go through each individual course rather than seeing all my stat or business or my sample courses all within the same place, allowing me again to see how much time I might need to dedicate. Or I can even filter this view. Maybe I want to focus on one specific activity, or maybe I do want to focus on one course at a time just to kind of make things, a little bit more, concise. Or I can even organize this by date. So maybe I want to see what's been submitted and sitting there longer than a week rather than something that's been submitted within the last 24 hours. Again, allowing me to have control over my learning management system. This gives me the flexibility to, again, access all of my different courses, be able to search for my learners that I'm maybe perhaps interested in, and be able to, dive into their work and see all of their submissions. Not only is this a tool that's going to organize your time for you, from here, this is where we can also dive in and be able to apply those annotations or different aspects to our assessment. Whether I maybe want to provide some inline annotations, again, because we are mobile friendly, you are able to perhaps pop open your mobile phone on your tablet and just give them, an A plus with your stylus right off the bat. Or perhaps you're interested in maybe highlighting some text or underlining it or crossing something out, and even being able to drop in some notes to highlight specific features or parts or even illustrations within our assessment. So again, a great tool that allows, again, access to rubrics, submissions, feedback, all within the same area. Wonderful. So again, folks, really looking forward to chatting further. If there are any questions about any of the features we've talked about today or what we can make specifically for you folks at UNC, Greg and myself would be more than happy to perhaps record some more videos, or maybe even have a conversation or more of an open office hour type of environment where we can give you folks access to your own sandbox, maybe, check in, see how you're doing. But for the time being, thank you for watching today's video. And again, hope you have a great day.